Good morning. This is Judy Gula from Artistic Artifacts in Alexandria, Virginia. Welcome to our Saturday morning Facebook Live. We hope that you enjoy your day today. Some of you might actually have the day off or the day to go outside. We're in April. It's cold, rainy, getting ready for those flowers of spring and May, but it's still a little nippy out here in DC. So we are here today to talk about batik panels. But before I do that, I have a couple of announcements, and voila, I wrote them down this time. I'm sure I've missed something. This Thursday coming up, we have a how do we use it. This is going to be an experiment. We're going to see how it goes, where we're going to do some demos, show you some products, how I use them, which is only a small bit, and then try to give you some characteristics and information about the product so that you can buy it and use it. We're going to have some people in the audience that will actually be playing with it, and we'll see what they'll do, and we'll hope that you'll be able to watch it, and then we'll have the product that we're using on Comment Sold. So this is a Comment Sold where you can have our app, Artistic Artifacts, that you can download from any app store. And that will allow you to shop if you see we're going to demo the product in hopes that it will fit your future projects, and give you the opportunity to buy them right then and there. Most of this product is already on our website. It's inks and stamps and some wood blocks, and using wood blocks with stamps, that type of thing. So we're looking forward to that. So that'll be Thursday. Then we have a couple of surprise Facebook Lives. Next week is one of them. It's just going to be a surprise to you and me, my favorite one. So I don't have that scheduled yet, but we do have April 23rd, which is slightly biased. Will be here. We do now carry her patterns. She's going to show us what she did with some Artistic Artifacts hand-dyed Indian cottons, and we've seen pictures, and I'm really very excited about it. And if you're within traveling distance, we're having our first parking lot sale on May 14th. There looks to be a lot going on that day in addition to the parking lot sale. And then the Comment Sold for April 28th is going to be curated bundles by the Artistic Artifacts team. So those are some things that we have coming up. We have events created them. They're on our calendar. We also have started some classes in person. We just had a 2-day journal class, which was absolutely wonderful. Enjoyed everybody that was there. And I have a class for spool making for your spool books that we demoed, and have lots of pictures on those. So we're slowly adding some things. Dye days will start coming here because it'll warm up and we'll be outside. So look for events. Let us know when you're in the area. Come visit us. We have lots of people traveling, which is really nice to see. Lots of visitors from all over the country stopping in and saying hi to us. So we enjoy seeing you. But when we can't see you in person, this is the way that we reach you. So is everybody ready to talk about batik panels? Did everybody get your batik panels out? If you have any batik panels that you have worked with and can post on our Creative Minds, we'd like to see what you have done with them. We have several pictures up there already, and I thank you for that. And we're looking forward to seeing a few more. So Creative Minds is Artistic Artifacts Creative Facebook group, is there for us as a community to interact. It's not driven by Artistic Artifacts staff. It's driven by you as our community. We had a great challenge last month, which was received a $25 gift certificate. Suzanne did. And we're going to have the new challenge for April is cherry blossoms, which cherry blossoms in the Washington, D.C. area are very famous here. So we want you to post what you have, where cherry blossoms have inspired you, and we'll put your name in, whoever posts, and you'll be put into for a random drawing for a $25 gift certificate. And we're going to continue to do this monthly because we want to really see what you're doing and interact and let you show off a little bit. That's a good thing to do. Okay? Anybody there, Kyle?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. Everybody ready to talk about panels? Okay. So the batik panels that we're talking about are artist drawn from Indonesia. So they mostly have a tool that's like a pen with wax in it, and they hand draw. And then they work with dye. So they are wax and dye. They've been washed, they've been boiled, they're safe to use in clothing, quilts, whatever, wall art, whatever you want. They're really wonderful. They're most of the ones that we buy are produced on cotton. Some are produced on silk, but we tend to stay with cotton. So, and the company was called Batik Tembal, and the original owners had lived in Indonesia for many years and was a fiber quilter. And so when they came back to the U.S., they traveled and did shows in the U.S. area and sold these beautiful panels. And now I think are enjoying the sunshine in Florida. So it's a great thing. It was a wonderful opportunity for me. My husband and I spent time in Indonesia visiting these artists and seeing their workshops. And I do have a guild presentation that can happen on Zoom. If you're interested to let me know, I'd be happy to do that for you. It was a great experience, one I hope to repeat in the future. So we have lots of our batik panels up on the walls in the store. So it's not really going to be a store tour. We're going to try to show you some of our samples, and Kyle's going to start in this corner. So one of the things that took a little while to do, but we did produce a book about working with batik panels. So this is one of the large quilts. I mostly do small quilts. The publisher told me I had to do 2 large quilts. So this is one of them. So it's log cabin. It has the main panel. This is going to be the batik panel here. And then I bordered it differently. This is actually a sarong that I cut up because I like the fabric. It was really great. And these are the log cabins. And I did have it professionally long-armed. So that gives you that. So that's the most complex quilt I think I've ever done. And then here in the middle, there are some pieces that have some beading. Of course, the beading is all the way up on the top. Then we have some hand stitching. You can see the triangles, I think is really nice. The asymmetrical. So you can think asymmetrical. The panels really can hold it, and each one of those diamonds, triangles, pulled a little bit of the color that's out of the panel. So that was nicely done by my Colorado friends. And then this is hand stitching again, very simple, where you have the panel is mostly the focal point, and then the outside is Aboriginal fabric, which I like quite a lot. I use that a lot. Then we have some Roosley panels here. And we just did 1 color fabric, and you can see all of the interest is in the stitching. That is all free motion, fun play, extenuating it, but we just did a simple black and white border, and not to overpower the panel itself. This one I think you've seen many times. This is working with some mixed media in that it's got some crocheted hand dyed, some beads and beading and found objects that are on there. So texture is okay to use. That is one of the things I say to you is to use the texture to help. Then another panel that was done by my friends in Colorado here, I thought was very interesting. So if you look at the sides and the top and the bottom, the sides are one width, the top is a little bit larger, and the bottom is a little bit larger. It's kind of like what I thought people did when they framed their photos. So again, it doesn't have to be the same size going around it. This happens to be a fabric that we don't have any longer in this colorway, and works really nicely as stitching for it. We might have one more kit left for that. We did kit that, and that would be the only way you can get the fabric, and it should be online And this one is the second large quilt that my publisher told me I needed to do. So this is this is Roosley panels, which we don't have this size panels anymore. We have the really large ones. And it's kind of a very overstated log cabin. So I took great pieces of Australian mostly, some other fabrics that's in there. It's very busy, but I think because the panel is a little more simplistic, it could handle all this pattern. This pulls it together a little bit, so I kept that small, but it's the same through all of them. And then this border. So it's definitely a busy one, but I like it. I don't know if everybody else does, but I like it. So Australian fabrics is one of my favorite. Those patterns are fabulous to work with. And when you come into the store, this is kind of a middle room that we have, and these are up here for right now because we still have copies of the books online too if you would like to purchase them. And then coming inside, this is kind of the front room of our store, and let's go, where do we go? Let's go over here. So I discovered triangles on a roll. And so you can see I've used a batik and an Aboriginal for the purple. That's triangles. I went all the way around. This is an offshoot of our pattern that was created for Quilt Sampler magazine. And again, a lot of kind of bordering. I tend to do the bordering, and if it's a really bright color, maybe my border is a little less wide than the first one, and then it works its way out. But that was really trying to use a pattern block, which a lot of these patterns, you have some of these blocks. So maybe make them smaller, maybe make them as a border or inside. So use some of what you know already. This was a challenge we had in the store. Dudley did this. I think we're still waiting for Nancy's quilt. But look at what she did. She pulled plaids in. Totally different outlook, totally different composition. The orange pulls those fish out of there and has a very unique way of looking. This is one from our customer Linda, and this one, and again, she's done you can see the fabric is different sizes, different widths, different patterns. So and the bottom is a little bit wider than what the top is. Great use. Limited, she used more thread when she got to the vase versus thread on the outside of her borders. Very balanced stitching, but echoing the panel. Okay. All right, this is Dudley did another panel, and what I thought was really awesome was, again, Dudley's a little more of a traditional piecer than I am, so it was really nice to see her use these 9-patch blocks. And she had the pink, pull the pink flower out, and the golds and the browns also punched out the background. So a lot of these backgrounds have many different colors because they just do a wash in them. So the gold, I recommend using gold. Even if it's a little piece, it will usually make the panels pop. But the 9-patch, she had all lined up with the pink, and it worked really well. All right. This one you may have seen before. This was done by Chris. And Chris took a panel and she cut the fish out of the panel and repositioned them into it. Again, she's using some piano keys, some blocks. Aboriginal black and white are really great with these panels as well, because a lot of the dots from the Aboriginal fabric work really well with the dots in the batik fabric. So you can see the dimension up on the corner, there's pieces of the panel, the 3 fish are, and then at the bottom she pulled in. And those were fused onto there and then stitched over. I guess we better see if we have any questions.
Chris is actually getting them.
She's got them?
Yeah,
okay.
In the comments. But
okay.
Lots of people checking in from South Carolina, Maryland,
All right, awesome, great.
Loving everything that we're showing.
This is going to be a Roosley panel. Also, this quilt was done by Chris as well. Chris really helped me a lot with these samples when we were writing the book. As I said, we had more quilts than we could fit into the book, but it was really fun to play with them and try and figure out different ways. Again, she got brave again and cut this panel up and used it as little motifs. You could cut the panel and just continue. We have this bordering that she did, and she kept the border skewed because the motifs were skewed. You can't get perfect little squares when you cut these out, so you can fight it or you can go with it. So don't fight. It's supposed to be fun. This piece is mine I did where I was using, this was an experiment with using our Indian silks. This is in the book. It talks about how the silks are backed, and I did the piano keys. I really like this one. I was very happy. Sometimes I'm not quite sure, but you know, it's nice, and I think it, you can see I went lighter with the border. So there's a dark, very, very small border of black, then the piano keys, and then we went light because we felt we needed to expand that and calm it a little bit before we went to the border in black. And I truly believe you should be looking at things and putting them down. It's a simple question. Do you like it? Do you not like it? Nothing else matters. Do you like it? If you don't, then pick something until you get it. And I believe also that you can have a million things that will look right. Don't overstress it. Pick what you like and go with it. If you wait for perfection, most likely the quilt will never finish. And what we want is to enjoy the process and enjoy what we've created and hang it on the wall and look at it. It doesn't do us any good in the UFO zip bag, which I have a couple of those, but I really believe it should be a very quick answer when you're looking at fabrics, when you're looking at colors, when you're looking at patterns. Put them together. Do you like it? Oh, I like it, but I don't like that one. Pull it out, pull another one. It should be fast. It should be really fast. Don't overthink it. This one, Chris did, and this is working with the Indian silks, and she did it differently than I did. She made these little log cabins. She pulled out some motifs. Again, you have a balanced quilt, but you have asymmetrical sides to it. It's quite nice. Really worked well with that one. This is, I think, as simple as you can get. It worked really well. This is an ombre batik that is in there that is different sizes. The top, the bottom, and the sizes are all different. You can see this one and this one are a little more the same size, and those top are thinner. So you have that catty corner type of balance, and it is well balanced, but you have different sizes, and then you have, I just stitched the echo of the ombre and echoed the dancing women with just some light stitching. So you can, I've seen panels that are absolutely gorgeous, stitched, beaded, completely beaded. I think, who was it that put a beaded one on there? I think that Suzanne has done it. Regina maybe said that she had put some beads on there. So we have a couple of people who have posted what they have done with our quilts on our Creative Minds, and you can go simple, you can go all the way out there and completely absorb the panel in whatever you're embellishing it with. So this is kind of our fodder here for colors. Batiks, just because it is a batik that was done in that process doesn't mean that you only need to use batik fabrics. You can use any fabrics. You can use linens, you can use Indian cottons, Australian totally is my favorite. We might be needing this. So these are, and the thing that's nice about this is, for the most part, the Australians, we can reorder them. It's a little tricky still with COVID with getting them on a timely basis, but we can certainly reorder, and they reprint a lot of their patterns over time. So it's really easy to use. Yes?
question. When is the best time to add beads and hand stitching on the panels, before or after layering?
Okay, so that's a great question. I find that depends on what you want to do. A lot of times I will actually finish my quilt, 3 layers stitched together, and put my quilting in there, and then I will add my beads, because you don't want a free motion around beads. If you're not going to do any free motion and you're going to bead it completely, then I would do your layers, your front, your batting, and you stitch through your back, your batting back. Then you can bead the whole thing. So generally, my beads, I would say most of the time, go in. It's the last thing I do. I can usually hide my threads. I'm not going to, the backs, don't really worry about it too much. I pull them through, knot them, pull them up and back. I kind of take my thread through those batting layers and hide it as I move it with my beading. Did that make sense? We okay? Okay, just want to make sure. But so I would say that. Now, I have done hand stitching where I have done a lot of my hand stitching before I have assembled my quilt, and then I just know that to keep my 3 layers of quilting of top, middle, and bottom together, I maybe do light machine stitching to keep those layers, but that I don't go in. If you're going to do some heavy free motion stitching, I would do it before you're going to do your embellishments. Okay? All right. So this is my book that I wrote, and it is available with Landauer Publishing. We do have it online in the store. And as I said, I do have a little lecture that can be done via Zoom that is pictures of going into artist studios in Indonesia and showing you what we've done with them. We still have a few more So these are some more samples. We asked several of our customers who live locally to bring them in. I'm sorry to say the very top one has some nice beading and buttons on it, and it's a little hard to get. I don't know if you can get that one, Kyle. So what I really love about this one is that this is the border is Sarah Kelly, which is a previous Liberty designer, which I would think of as being a little bit more conservative, and it looks awesome with this. The combination looks great, and there's so many colors, and the patterns pick up really well. The next one down, is that Linda Cooper maybe? I'm not sure who brought that one. Ooh, missed that. But again, you can see that black and white that echoes the black and white in the panels. So those are 3 faces. We don't have that artist panels at this time, but that was probably bought a while ago. And you can see how they pulled the texture is all in the blue, and the stitching enhances that. That's really great. And then this one, maybe that one was Kathy Edwards. This one's definitely Kathy, who works with us here. And I loved, she took and did a Bargello look. And this is one fabric. It's a Denise Burkett fabric, Artha panel, which again, we don't have Artha right now. But she used that and created her background. Again, the tops and the bottoms are different. Your sides are the same, but that Bargello just has some movement that works really well with the flowers. Yes.
We do have another artist that has the flower motif. Right? He's
do.
Newer.
Who?
Ari?
Hari Agun.
Hari
Agun. Yes, we do have flowers with Hari. And then this is another one Beth brought. We worked together. She took my class about creating a batik panel, and we have our 3 ladies here, and just a different, it's very bright, it's very beautiful. We picked up a lot on this blue, and I think the way that you always want what's going on in the panel to pop, and that's what it's all about. And then in the border, I love using these patterns in the borders, and not staying solid. I do like to use that. So this was done by Beth, and that was really wonderful. Okay, do we have any questions at the moment?
Lots of likes. Lots of hearts.
Okay. I want to show you, these are two that they did finally tell us that I had too many quilts to fit in the book, so it kind of stopped going forward with them. But this is one that I have to do, and I wanted to show you. This is silk, but what's really cool about this plan is this hemong, these beautiful hemong borders, and so that is what I'm going to use with this one. And it's Chris might know the name of the company. It's a lovely couple from Texas who was importing product from Thailand, and we used to meet them at the Houston Quilt Show, and they had absolutely beautiful fabrics and trims and products, and so that's, I do have a couple UFOs. So that was one, but it's using a trim instead of a fabric as to highlight it. That's how that's going to go. And then this one, this is kind of a mess, but
we need to get more horse panels.
I know, I can get them. Harry Goon, that one is Harry Goon, and he's still producing panels. This is Mahiar, and this was a very unique colorway for Mahiar. He has since passed, but this one is very active. It kind of caught me as the baby and the elephant, but one of the things I was trying to do with this one was playing with these triangles. I don't know if you can see it through this mess, but I always have loved this pattern in here. So sometimes you can mimic the pattern that's in the panels to help show the panel off. So this was, you know, for me, piecing things is a new thing. So I liked, again, I was using batik and I was using Aboriginal fabric. So that is a UFO too. Or I should say work in process, WIP, work in process. I don't call them UFOs.
What does UFO stand for? What does UFO stand for?
Unfinished products, unfinished UFOs. But I like to just say they're always in process because I'm always kind of thinking about them. So that's one thing. All right, we have a couple of requests. Did Brenda request? I'm trying to think. I had my note. Who requested? I think it was Belinda. Belinda, send us some pictures. So Belinda, I looked at them this morning, and I did get a little bit of a head start for you. And one of them you have is similar to this. So this is a Mahiar panel that is, again, he has since passed, but he uses this very wonderful specific colors, and he has these triangles here. So I showed you one idea on the piece that I have that echoes those triangles. But when we're talking about fabric colors, okay, this is going to be hard, Kyle. We should have gotten you the step stool. This is what I mean by just looking at, see, and I just walked past this one. So this is some hand woven that is Kaif cotton shot. We just have gotten that. We do have some ECATs from India, and there's a brown one that would look really wonderful with that. But again, does it enhance the fabric? Does it look like it works with the border? Or, you know, maybe that one's not the right one, maybe this one's the right one. And then I'll look at, well, do you use more of it? So you can see there's more green, there's a little less yellow, and more of this one. What's nice about Mahiar's has this orange. Now this is an Essex. So this one, you know, it could be that you do little. So I always look at look at what size I want my border to be. Does it help it? Does it take away from it? Where's the focal point? What do you like? Because that is the main thing. This gold is a little tricky sometimes. You know, does that work? I think that's a little harsh. Sometimes I'll just take the panel. Can you show from there? And I'll go like this, okay? What do I have? Do I have stacks of yellows in my room? Maybe I'm gonna pull the yellows out and see what it looks like. So I'll just hold them up or throw them down next to them. Dots usually work when I'm looking. Okay, so this is Moonscape. So I would use these kind of patterns this way, so it's not a long line this way. Sorry, that to me is very uninteresting. This to me is interesting, but the pattern here is, I think, a real key. This is using the gold is kind of fun, and this is Essex. This will work. Then this green is really perfect. I like to expand. Some of quilters, I hear them talking about containing the quilt. I want to expand my quilt. I want it to go past the panel. So I'm looking at expanding it, not containing it, if that makes sense. This aqua color is very interesting to use. This one might not be it. It looks like it's a little bright. Does it have blue in it? Does it have turquoise, green? You know, sometimes when you get into those blues and greens, this isn't right either. But it's actually it's better than this one, I think. Can you see what it does? Does it enhance it? Does it dull it? I think that one dulls it. All right. Linda, does that help? I hope it helps. Like, not like, comments. This is really nice with this. This is an Aboriginal. And you can see it has the green and it's pulling the color out of the panel. That's just one of those things I like.
She says great fabric pattern directional tip.
Okay. All right. Then let's see. The next one that Linda had is something similar to this, which is fish. We do have a new batik. We have 2 new batik artists, which is fabulous. We're very excited about people continuing. And so we have a couple of these. One, he is very specific. He draws very one-off panels. So Kyle's going to work on getting these on comments sold. So if you would like to purchase some of these one-offs, you'll have to log into the app and look for the comments sold. Give them a little bit of time to get them up there, because of course I only thought of this yesterday. I don't know why it can't get done, but so we'll look for you to have that option. But look at how much color is in here. And then this was, so when I looked at it, it was like, okay, so what color do you see? What color catches your eye? Which color do you like? And Belinda, this has a lot of color in it. So you can start with anything, but I caught the red seemed to catch for me. You could go green, you could go gold, you could do the indigo, but the red seemed to catch. So how was I going to get that in there? Well, the first one I picked was kind of these, and again, this is this nice pattern. This is an Australian, like here, and so you could go this way, here, you could move it so it's this way with just a little bit of the blue, and again, I would turn the blue. What happens if we put a little bit of red in there? So, but if you picked green, you could pick green. So that's, to me, very calming. It brings you back to the nice fish. Let's see. These two I picked two, and what do we think of those? Might be too harsh, but I like this one. Notice it's on a bolt. I tried to pick things that we weren't out of. This one might be nice there. So to me, the Aboriginals and dots, I mean, you could just have dots, and that expands it there. Then I went, and this is Essex. So here is Essex. So look at these blues. Some of them work. Then of course I have this Australian. I don't think that one works. Does this one work? So there's things that are in there. What time is it? Oh, we're getting there. Can you just grab that? Sorry, we're in the middle of the store, so we're gonna start having customers can come in. It's okay. We just have a couple more to do. All right, so there's your fish. Lots of ideas. I would think that this is a great one that you can play off a lot of those colors. All right. So hopefully that helped. All right, so when I do tend to use a lot of black and whites. So they, again, most of the easy black and whites to get a hold of are the Australian ones. There's lots of black and white patterns there, again, with the dots that help, I think, look at, it just helps the popping of the dots. And the process of the batik gives you lots of dots because they're dotting the wax. And they're starting with white fabric, so you usually have that. Now, this one would be hard for me. These are not necessarily colors I work in, meaning this taupey brownish colors, but if you look at the colors in the birds, they're truly fantastic. So this one was a little tricky for me, but I thought, oh, that might be interesting. This might be interesting here. This one. Then this is chambray. Chambray. This is chambray. So here you have some of that pulling there, but is it really purple or is it blue? That. And then look at this. This one I thought, ooh, that one's pretty cool. This beige one I like here, and I really like that one. So how simplified do you want to get? Is it white is better than the beige? I don't know. So that's what I mean by just playing. And then you'd be like, okay, well, I like this one. So you're going to start, I'm going to take this one away, and I'm going to see what else I can work with. Is this one here? So I like that one. And you pull away what you don't like. And just get it out of your line of vision. It's just not even an issue anymore. Is it red? Is that too red? What happens when we put this red with it? So that's what I mean. You just have to play with it. Sometimes it doesn't. Quick answers: like or don't like. Don't like, pull it out, use it on a different project. Like, leave it. So those are things that you want to do. All right. Business is calling. We have one more. This is one I want to do. This is a new panel. This is on our website, and it's an abstract with indigo. And we have these Japanese packs that have pieces. Some are wovens and some are printed. So there's two different packs. But I thought it would be nice to cut this into a 4-patch here and work with these around it. So that's an idea I have in my head that kind of mulls around and looks, and maybe we'll accumulate and create a panel at that point. So do we have any questions? That's our last one.
Everyone likes it. Lots of hearts.
Okay.
We had some suggestions going off in the comments.
Oh, good.
Color
good.
schemes.
Yep.
They were all very good.
Great. Suzanne, I know you had one too. And let me just show you this fabric I thought was interesting. So Suzanne has a Bam Bam Darmo fabric woman. But these are alcohol inks that Tim Holtz created fabrics out of, and they are very patterny, but it's a solid piece of fabric that I thought might be good. You could actually put the red one here and the blue one, or you could switch it to be blue and then have most of the red. But the patterning, it's all a duplication of what alcohol inks with. So I lied, that was my last one. Suzanne had sent a question. Okay, please check our events on our Facebook. We have lots of things coming up. Please join us on Thursday for our How Do We Use It. We'd love some interaction, some questions, some feedback. You know, if you say we should continue to do it, we continue to do it. So that one's about, we'll pick a product a month and talk to you about the product, show you some demos. That's the plan. But Thursday's the experiment, so show up to have a vote. Then we have more Facebook Lives coming up. Slightly Biased is April 23rd. May 14th is going to be the parking lot sale. And I think I'm out of time. All right. Shop with us on artisticartifacts.com. Come visit us in the store. Have a very creative day, and thank you for being here.